Obama.
You got Obama phone?
Yes, everybody in Cleveland, low minority, got Obama phone. Keep Obama in president, you know. He gave us a phone.
He gave you a phone?
Do more.
How do he give you a phone?
You sign up if you on food stamps, you on Social Security, you got low income, you disability.
Hey, I have a question. Okay, what's wrong with Romney again?
Romney, he sucks. Bad.
Remember that. Remember the Obama phone lady. Well, folks, there's a new Obama phone scandal. And who do you think uncovered it? If you said our next guest, James O'Keefe, the president of Project Veritas and the author of a great new book, Breakthrough. It's out today. Our Guerilla War to Expose Fraud and Save Democracy. And I hold that up for our Newsmax.com, Newsmax TV viewers to see. Here it is, and we welcome in James O'Keefe. James, how are you?
Hey, Steve. It's absolutely wonderful to be on with you today.
Well, it's my pleasure, and congratulations on the book. I wish you the greatest success with it, and I want to talk more about it. But first, I want to play a soundbite. You released this today. It's all over the place. It's all over Drudge. It's making news left and right. Your hidden camera captured the wireless company and the employees that provide this so-called Obama phone, this free phone, which, of course, you and I pay for, passing it out to people, and your undercover folks said, well, what if I sell it and buy drugs? Well, that's okay, and we won't tell anybody. We don't judge. And what if I'm asked about it? Well, you know, you could take the fifth. So here's that soundbite. Some of it's a little difficult to hear, but here's cut number 60.
Would these Obama phone workers tell us to take phones we don't actually need? Would they tell us these phones are sold to buy drugs?
Once you guys give me the phone, that's my phone. Gosh, so I can like sell it. Whatever you want to do with it. Okay. So get some money for heroin. Hey, I'm good. Okay, thank you. Yep.
Would they tell us to sell the phones and break the law? And would they tell us, after breaking the law, to plead the fifth?
On my application, one more question. When I come back on the application, should I put down that I intend to sell it, or don't, like, put that, don't
probably, like, leave the fifth on.
Go into the internet.
It's illegal.
It is?
Personally.
Yeah.
All right, so there you go. It's illegal. You have to take the fifth on it. We don't judge if you want to sell the phone and buy drugs. Where exactly was this, and when did this take place? Tell the folks, James.
Sure, Steve. We filmed it in Philadelphia in late May, and in Minnesota as well. Minnesota's Terracom, and Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Stand-Up Wireless, both of which receive grants, subsidies from a federal government program called Lifeline. It's a $2.2 billion program. It's intended to give out phones to people who need them. What we've exposed is the opposite. It gives out phones to people who don't need them, and they sell them to get drugs. And in fact, you know, we try to find these tents where they give out the phones. It's quite challenging to find where these things are located. But once we found them, you know, we were able to discover that, you know, the sort of things were happening. And we just got a statement moments ago from the CEO of Stand Up Wireless. This is a guy by the name of Dave Scogan. And he has informed Fox News that all 3 team members have been fired just moments ago. And that this is his quote, all customer-facing team members are receiving additional training. It is not a company policy, nor is it beneficial for the company for our customers to sell their phones, unquote. I would challenge the CEO on that statement that it's not, because the program is incentivized to give out phones. In fact, billionaires like Carlos Slim receive $10 per phone, according to some report. So this is a developing story. People are being fired. Workers are being retrained, and now a senator from Louisiana, the Senator David Vitter, has issued a statement talking about the program, and there's currently a bill in Congress to defund the program. So this is really galvanizing a lot of support and interest into this program.
Well, this is what you do, and this is what Project Veritas does, and this is what's gotten you in trouble, quote unquote. And in fact, you were the subject of an investigation. I want to play a soundbite here from you went to New Hampshire to track down Associate Attorney General of that state, Richard Head, who you have a chapter on in your book, Breakthrough, and you confronted him. And here's cut 34.
Hi, I'm James O'Keefe. I'm with Project Veritas. Today I'm in Concord, New Hampshire, and I'm going to confront Assistant Deputy Attorney General Richard Head in Concord, New Hampshire, outside the Department of Justice here in the state. I'm going to ask him if he ever responded to my FOIA request to him a year ago, where I asked him for all communications between him and Eric Holder. We know that the Department of Justice has been spying on the Associated Press. What you may not know is that the Attorney General's office here in New Hampshire tried to indict myself and my colleagues last year for exposing voter fraud. I'm also going to give him a copy of my book called Breakthrough. There's a chapter in it called The Rise of Richard Head. It talks about how Mr. Richard Head sent a letter to a young woman in New Jersey asking for all of my illegally obtained emails. I'm going to ask him why he did that. And we're going to give him a book and see what he says.
Well, he wouldn't sign the book. To his credit, I think you will agree, he did come out. He could have hidden. And what I found most interesting was he admitted that, and you talked about a raid on a colleague or a friend of yours' home in the middle of the night, which he disagreed with your description. But nonetheless, he said they were trying to track you down. They had a subpoena, and it was because of an investigation that, you know, and he wouldn't comment on it. What do you know about why they wanted to talk to you?
This is a fascinating story, Steve. This is all talked about in the book Breakthrough. It's a kind of complicated story. It's a kind of unbelievable story. It's very entertaining because the guy's name is Richard Head. But this guy in New Hampshire sent people to the home of my colleague the day after we released a video showing ballots offered out in the names of the dead.
Right.
You might ask, how is that even possible? Well, we cross-referenced the list of deceased voters with the list of registered voters and found thousands of people who are dead and registered to vote, and proved that it was possible to impersonate them because we went into the poll locations on primary day and uncovered them telling us, yes, here you go, Mr. John Doe, here's your ballot. And we said, we're not, wait, hold on a second, like, we're not going to vote, we're just asking you if you, and they were insisting that we vote in these other people's names. So this, of course, prompted so much outrage across the state of New Hampshire. In fact, you know, in an unbelievable series of events, the state legislature instituted voter ID, overturning the governor's veto of that legislation. Our YouTube video, and that's all it was, prompted a state to change a voter ID law. And you can only imagine how much that deeply upset Mr. Richard Head. So Mr. Richard Head raided the home of my colleague, tried to track me down, tried to indict me for a bogus crime. He was trying to make something up, you know, taping people or something. Nothing criminal about what they did. And the book Breakthrough talks about the story of what he did. He even, we have reason to believe, was working with hacker types, people like Brett Kimberlin and others, working with them to get my illegally obtained documents. We don't know if they had them. But he admitted in my ambush of him yesterday, Drudge covered it, he admitted that he did some of the things I accused him of doing.
Absolutely.
Like
let's go to 36. Can we play 36? Because we have that.
Yeah.
Here we go.
And, you know, last year, the New Hampshire Department of Justice sent some officials to the house of one of my colleagues. And basically, what amounted to a raid. They went into his house. They basically, the family felt terrorized based on what happened. Did you know about that? That they went into his house in the dead of night, and they showed pictures of, and they tried to indict them and indict me for our voter fraud work here in the state of New Hampshire, showing ballots being offered out in the names of the dead. Why did the state of New Hampshire use that recourse? Why did they try to indict me for doing investigative reporting?
Well, I think I didn't include his answer because he took a lot of time disputing the way you described it. But basically, he wouldn't comment. I mean, he would not comment. He said it was an investigation. It is an investigation, I believe he said to you, and he would not comment. So I was wondering, let the folks read in the book, Breakthrough, all about it. But is that still an ongoing investigation as far as you're concerned?
That's a good question. I highly doubt, you know, for political reasons. It's a different governor. It's a different attorney general. They're still Democrats, same party, but Richard Head is not really a political partisan. He's more of a kind of a, I guess I would describe him as sort of a hitman, you know, doing the state's work for whoever is in office. But no, we don't know if this is an ongoing investigation. What I forgot to ask him, Steve, which is a really important point in Breakthrough, the book, is that he knew my whereabouts before I got there. Now, the only people who know that is the federal government. And how the heck did he get information about where I was going to be before I got there? I was staying with a friend named Mike Rogers. So you really have to, I mean, this is, well, the scandals, NSA, IRS, DOJ. This is another apple to fall, and nobody believed me. I talked about this a year ago. People thought I was crazy. I'm a criminal and all these false things. Now we have information coming to light. So the book Breakthrough comes out in an excellent time in current society, because people are able to read the inside story of a citizen who decides truth to power, kind of what happens to you along the way.
Well, you were at Rutgers, right? I mean, you were at Rutgers University. And you get out of Rutgers, you start an independent newspaper at Rutgers. You get a BA in philosophy. And 3 years ago, you start Project Veritas. What motivated you? What made you do what you did?
A lot of things. The first thing was being in college and just sort of being around the sort of totalitarian environment where you can't say certain things.
You mean the only diversity is skin color and not thought process? I'm shocked.
Yeah, they even have a campus speech code that says you can't say anything that offends anyone. I mean, that's unconstitutional. And I decided to start my own newspaper and do these videos. And one of the first videos, of course, was us attempting to ban Lucky Charms, the cereal, because it's racist against Irish people. And we were taken seriously by the campus bureaucrats. So we sort of developed this sort of Alinsky method of putting them into a situation where we use their own flawed construct against them.
Right.
So that they're sort of forced to choose between two bads. And either they're going to ban the Lucky Charms or they're going to be thought of as racist for not banning them. So we were sort of we're playing Alinsky, and we just took it to another level after Planned Parenthood. Planned Parenthood's vice president resigned after she was talking about aborting black babies.
Right, I remember that, yep.
Acorn, President Obama signed a bill to defund Acorn, because of our videos. NPR, Medicaid, voter fraud. I mean, we've done so many videos, and every time we do a video, we get results. Just today, it's now reported that these people are going to be fired, and that Congress is getting a bill ready to defund this program. And my message to your audience is that journalism works when it's tried. It's not like we're doing anything revolutionary here. We're just reporting facts. And it goes to show you what a sad state of disgrace our current media is in when YouTube videos are making all of this difference and our journalists are nowhere to be found.
No, that's true. One final question. Do you fear for your safety?
Well, I fear for my safety. I mean, Breakthrough, the book, such incredible, entertaining, and bizarre stories. They've pretty much done everything at me except commit an act of violence. We've gotten 250 retractions and corrections. We've settled 2 defamation lawsuits. I've been sued half a dozen times, put in prison, and I've had the federal government audit my bank accounts for 3 years straight. There really isn't much more they can do to me, and I think the fact that we're getting all this publicity on this new story and the book is coming out, I think the left and the right and everyone in between are going to be in complete agreement on what they read in this book.
Well,
this is not an ideological book.
Well, that's a good way to end it, James. And everything you talked about, Planned Parenthood and everything else, and the Lucky Charm, it's all in here. Everything you've undertaken in your story, and everything you've fought against, and you've just alluded to all the struggles you've had. Stay safe, my friend, and great work, great timing, and to be able to break news on the day your book comes out is amazing. And we wish you luck, and we'll hold the book up here. It's Breakthrough: Our Guerrilla War to Expose Fraud and Save Democracy by James O'Keefe.